And we are underway. The Red Raiders, and it's dumped into the grease zone, and deep in the zone it goes. After it there is Ryan Shannon. He rips it around the boards, and down the ice it goes all the way the other way, but I don't believe it's going to go far enough for icing. As Matt Jobe comes back to pick it up, flips it ahead. Picked up by Carroll. Carroll on the 45 to Mankies, and the Raiders break it back out to Robidoux. Robidoux is right by the defenseman. He's got some room. He's got Jobe. He got the shot, and the save is made by Bach. So the Raiders get the first shot on net, Matt Robidoux, and he had Jobe going in on the right side. Puck controlled by the Lightning in their own zone. It's Andy Christensen. Drops it on the other side for Shannon. It'll go back to Christensen as they pass it behind the goal line. Finally, Christensen will start it up. Bangs it off the boards out to center ice. Brian Carroll gathers it in off the backhand and ahead to the grease line. Picked up there by Shannon again. He'll dump it down the ice into the Massena zone. We got our first icing of the game. And the face-off will move all the way back in the grease zone. You notice, Coach, we're graced by the presence of football coach Albert Nicola.
He's scouting for next year.
Nice to see him here tonight. Dick Johnson is here as well. We've got a whole cast of characters here.
They've come to see a good hockey game, and I'll tell you, the Raiders had an excellent opportunity right off the bat. Matt Robidoux, he chipped it by Ryan Shannon at the grease blue line, walked right in, and with a 2-on-1 situation, and fired it just wide.
Raiders picked up a penalty, and I got to admit I didn't see it. Matt Jobe goes in the box, and I don't have a clue what happened. That must have been after the play. What do they call him for elbowing? No, interference.
Interference.
Okay, I didn't even see the call. John Simons and Tom Caruso are the two officials. So the Raiders are going to have to try to kill one off here. Andy Rice with a puck. As you mentioned, he's a guy that did some damage against Massena last year. Puck around the boards. Kevin Horn moves it ahead to Rochford, bangs it down the ice. And you've talked about this many times, Coach, about how their penalty killing is a strong point for Massena this year.
Oh, it has simply been outstanding. I think they're allowing the opposition less than 10% success rate on the penalty.
Raiders with a puck, and down the ice it goes. Steve Smith on a nice pass from Tad Engstrom. 45 seconds remaining in the man advantage on the penalty to Matt Jobe. Puck trickles out to the blue line. Check thrown by Converse, and he backhands it right back in grease territory. The Lightning with a puck now in their own end. They start to move it ahead, but it's going to be intercepted. Mankies takes a whack at it, just trips it back into the zone of grease. Now the Lightning move it down the ice. Dump it deep in the Massena zone. Comes to the side of the net. Picked up by Smith. Smith looks, hits the glass, moves it. Not out of the zone, though. It's dumped back in the corner. Smith will get it right back again. This time he'll try the right side all the way around the boards, kept in at the point. Christensen momentarily. Now it's banged ahead and down the ice with 4 seconds left, and the Raiders kill this one off. In fact, don't believe that Lightning had even a shot on net, and they hardly had it in the Massena zone.
Well, the Raiders coming into tonight's game allowed the opposition just 7 goals on 74 attempts, and we're not saying maybe somebody got a penalty here. No, he blew the call. That's what it was. A face-off at center ice, but they killed off another one. That's 7 for 75.
What he did was he called an icing.
Called an icing, yeah.
And there was still 1 second left in the man disadvantage. Off the face-off, puck sits at the Massena line. Picked up there, Ian Francia, just off the glass. Intercepted and dumped deep in Massena territory by Chris Chapman. Spatafor will leave it, trying to flip it ahead to Francia. Chapman steps in front, dumps it behind. Puck backhanded around the boards to Mankies. Mankies turns, lost his edge. It'll come back to Francia. He just rips it around the boards. Pinching in, trying to pick it up, the Lightning, but Brian Carroll steps in front of a pass to intercept, and he'll move it out to center ice. Brian Carroll looks for the head man. Mankies intercepted, comes back to the Massena line, and into the zone it goes. Carroll knocks it down to the blue line. They battle for it. It goes squirting to Carroll. He'll gather it. He'll go on the side to Francia, and he bangs it ahead to the grease line. Picked up there by Simmons. His head man knocked away. Francia backhands it off the glass into the grease zone. Here comes Whitcup. Robbie trying to center it. It's intercepted and bounces back to center ice. Matt Brown is there to flip it ahead. Brown to Nathan Whitcup. Off his stick, it goes to Simmons. Simmons moves it on the other side as they headman it to the Massena line. Steve Smith takes a whack at it. Dumped away from him deep in Massena territory, and around the boards it goes as the Lightning make wholesale changes. Puck bounces to the blue line, but not out of the zone. Comes to Wood. Woods pass intercepted. Here's a chance right in front of the net. Spatafor, and it's cleared by the Massena defenseman down the ice, and that'll be icing against the Raiders with 11:08 left in the first period. And on the Evergreen Memorial scoreboard, we're scoreless.
Scoreless, and 8 seconds shy of 4 minutes that we played in this hockey game, and actually only one real good scoring opportunity, and that's the one we described a second ago by Matt Robidoux as he came in on that left side on goaltender Tommy Bach.
And he's back out again against Whitmore. Wayne Whitmore and Derek Whitmore, two twins. One plays center, one plays left wing, and Kevin Allison's the other wing. Off the draw, Raiders win it to Steve Smith. Smith takes it behind the net, wraps it around the boards for Job. Job has to drop it back to Smith. Now Smith will try the left side. He gets tied up in the corner. Puck picked up there. Back to the point. And it bounces into the circle, moving it around the horn. Whitmore goes way back to the point. Here's Christensen, has it knocked away. It bounces into the corner. After it, Robidoux. Matt Robidoux picks it up, slides it ahead. It's intercepted. Christensen knocked away. Whitmore now. He dumps it in behind the net. Here's a chance side of the net. Bounces in the net. And Grease scores. How that got in, I have no idea. And it was a harmless-looking little play, and somehow it got through the 5-hole, and Grease has taken a lead.
Well, he banked it off the Raider defenseman. What happened? He was in behind the goal line. I will pick up the number. I'm not sure if it was one of the Whitmore brothers. I think it was. He was to the left of Nathaniel Spatafor, and below the goal line, and he just threw it out in front, and it hit a Raider player, redirected by Nathaniel Spatafor, and a harmless-looking little play, and the Lightning on the board first.
So it's 1-0. Now the Massena defenseman lost his edge. Here's Rice, centering pass, knocked away as Brian Carroll made a real nice defensive play. His partner lost his edge at the blue line and gave up an odd man rush, but Carroll came back and covered up. Now the puck in the corner. It's Ryan Wilson looking to center. Goes off a leg back in behind. Now they bounce it back to the blue line. Back in the corner it goes. David Park after it. He has a problem with it. Picked up by the Lightning in behind as they move it around the horn. That's Root. Root to the blue line. Here's a shot from the point. Spatafor makes the save. Knocked down in front. They got a man right in front. And he didn't get the shot off somehow. That was Andy Rice. Puck along the boards as the Lightning now putting on some pressure. The Raiders having a problem getting the puck out of their own zone. Puck in behind now as they battle for it there. Angstrom comes in and throws a check. The puck's still in there, tied up by Ryan Wilson. It squirts free. Now Park gets a piece of it, trying to flip it around the boards. Angstrom gets knocked down, and the puck gets clear to the blue line, and Rochford just bangs it to the Grease line. 1-0. Grease has taken a lead here on the Evergreen Memorial scoreboard, and they dump it deep right on, and Spatafor has to make a save. Park picks up the loose puck ahead to Rochford. Rochford, headman pass, goes off a leg and into the Grease zone where it's picked up by Ryan Simmons. Simmons takes it in behind his own net, being bothered by Robbie Whitcup. Simmons flips it ahead. Now Nathan Whitcup comes over and throws a check. Robbie picks up the puck, goes to Nathan, back to the blue line. Brown takes a whack at it. It bounces into the corner. Salter picks it up. He'll go on the other side to Simmons. For Grease, he moves it to the blue line, and it just bounces out to center ice. Puck knocked down by Brown. Comes to the Massena D, and they'll dump it back the other way. And I don't believe that's going to go far enough for ice. Oh, boy. It does, apparently. I'm not going to say a word.
That Grease goal coming at the 4:28 mark. Gary Whitmore picking up the goal. I'll tell you, they're pretty liberal on the assist. 2 assists on that one. Kevin Allison and twin brother Wayne getting the other assist, but it did bank off, I'm sure, a Raider defenseman. But that all came about because I will say they outworked the Raider defensive, the whole 5 units in behind. And the main thing is the first guy in, the first Raider player, is not taking that man, Jerry. You got to go in and take that man, pin him against the boards. They weren't doing that. They were fishing for the puck and just never had control.
Off the face-off, won by the Grease Lightning. In the corner, defenseman Matt Salter pinching in. He'll drop it back to the point. It bounces out to center ice. As the forward Whitmore had stepped back to play the point, it bounced over his stick. Back to the neutral zone. As they move it ahead, Francia gets a piece of it. He'll come back the other way, trying to go ahead to Nathan Whitcup, but it's intercepted by Whitmore. This is Derek Whitmore. He gets knocked off the puck at the blue line, gets it back again, flips it ahead on the wing. Into the zone, dumped in the corner. Massena territory. Back to the point, kept in by Salter. He flips it in the corner, got a man in front. He gets knocked down. Here's a shot, the save made, and the puck cleared into the corner. Good opportunity there for Kevin Allison, and a big save made by Massena goaltender Nathaniel Spatafor. Now we have a whistle.
Big save by Nathaniel Spatafor, and just prior to that, that shift before, Andy Rice, right after the Grease had got their first goal, had another great opportunity. He's the guy that knocked it, gloved it in front, knocked it down, and fanned on his shot. He had the wide open side, short side of the net, but Grease has turned up the pressure here after that goal.
Rice off the face-off, Raiders control. Kevin Wood, nice headman pass. Robidoux winds up his shot, he fired it wide. Bouncing puck. Kept in by Menkes in the corner, throws a check. Rice comes up with it. Robidoux takes him out of the play. Here's Robidoux with it. Trying to step by the check. He's battling two Lightning players, and it's still along the boards, and finally it trickles out to center ice. Rice can't come up with it. Comes to Smith. He'll look on the other side for Job. Job just trickles it across the blue line, but nobody there. Doesn't clear the zone, though. Here's Robidoux in the corner, trying to bounce it back. Knocked away. He's got it back again in the slot, and he gets knocked down. It comes to the blue line, and here comes Grease the other way. Raiders into the zone. Roof takes a whack at it way wide as the Raiders did get back. Robidoux throws a check at the blue line. Bouncing puck in the corner. Rice trying to move it free. Here's Rice barging his way through. Gets forced wide. He's still got the puck. Centers in front. Here's the shot up over the net. And there was a man all by himself right in the slot there. And now the Raiders are going to ice it. And the whistle will blow and we'll have a face-off. As Massena with a good opportunity, but then they gave up the blue line, and down it went the other way.
And looked like they were formulating a good opportunity. Big number 22, Matt Robidoux, weaving in and out, but he got flattened just inside the blue line. A good defensive play by number 12, Ryan Wilson. And when Robidoux got flattened, that's when Grease off and running towards the Massena end.
It's going to be McNanny taking the face-off in the Massena zone against Engstrom. Engstrom wins the draw to Brian Carroll. He barges his way through, moves it ahead to Rochford. A little bit too far. Intercepted at the blue line by Shannon. Shannon has to turn back as Rochford bothering him. He'll rip it around into the corner. Coming back for it is Christensen. Christensen trying to move it around. Intercepted momentarily by Engstrom, but he couldn't get a stick on it. Now it's flipped wide the other way. It comes to Converse. Converse knocked away from him at the blue line as they battle there. The puck dumped deep in the Massena zone. Stopped behind the net by Spatafor. He'll leave it for Engstrom. Engstrom's head man goes by everybody, but it's tipped. So no icing will be called. Comes back into the Grease zone. Back after to Shannon. Shannon behind his net. Trying to rip it around the boards. Comes back to the blue line and out to center ice. Long headman pass goes by everybody. And back into the Massena zone where Converse picks it up. Converse steps by a check and he's taken out of the play at the blue line. Trying to stay with it. It bounces free to the Massena line where Engstrom comes back for it. 5:58 left. Raiders trailing 1-0. Here comes Engstrom. He's going to stick handle out to center ice looking for Rochford. Rochford just tips it into the Grease zone where it's picked up by Ryan Shannon. Raiders want to change here. Shannon has a little problem with it. Rochford almost stole it, but Shannon moves it ahead. And they're just going to dump it deep in the Massena zone, and the Lightning will make a change. Puck goes in behind the net. Brian Carroll looks up ice. He steps by a check and moves it ahead. Rochford looking. He's got a man breaking in Brown. Matt Brown busts in, gets a shot off, and the save made by goaltender Tom Bach. Good opportunity for Massena.
The Grease Lightning had flooded one side, the side nearest to our broadcast booth. They all seem to be on one side. The Raiders got possession just outside the blue line. Nice rink-wide pass to Matt Brown breaking down that left side and came in and being hassled somewhat by a defenseman. Got a shot off. Good save by Tom Bach.
Off the face-off, Robbie Whitcup, won by Grease. Puck ripped around the boards, comes to the blue line, and the Lightning move it ahead. Into the zone they come. Here comes Allison. Drop pass to Whitmore. Puck goes in behind the net. Trying to move it ahead. The Raiders, they get tied up. This is Wayne Whitmore. He and Robbie Whitcup go together. Whitcup kicks it ahead, flips it around the boards for brother Nathan. Nathan moves it to the blue line, not out of the zone, gets it back again, still can't get it out of the zone. And the puck goes to the side of the net, and Spatafor is going to cover it up.
Not too often in high school hockey do you get combinations, opposing combinations out there with brothers on each line. We had the Whitmore unit for the Grease Lightning and the Whitcup unit for the Raiders. But
Whitmore and Whitcup.
A couple of 4 W's out there, that's right.
Andy Rice out there to take the face-off against Robidoux now. Off the draw. Puck goes back in the corner. Rice picks it up. Centering pass, but it's going to go to Job. Job flips ahead of Robidoux. Robidoux's got Menkes breaking, and he couldn't quite get it to him. Menkes now takes it wide, has it poke checked away, and it bounces around to Robidoux. Robidoux has it swept away, back out to center ice. David Park with it, trying to flip it ahead, intercepted. Across the blue line, Rice has it poke checked away. It comes to Mike Roof in the corner, knocked away from him as he is checked. Robidoux backhands it out to center ice. Picked up there by Ryan Simmons. Simmons at the blue line of his own, moves it ahead to the Massena line. Steve Smith bangs it right back out again. Picked up again by Ryan Simmons. He circles back in his own end as Job tries to do a little forecheck, and he moves him out, gets it back again. Dump back deep in to Greece territory, picked up by Simmons again. He'll start out left side of his net and move it ahead. Out to center ice. He gets knocked away. Job picks it up. Trying to headman to Robidoux. Robidoux to Mankies. Here's Mankies going in on the off wing. Takes it in behind the net. Looks to center, but hit the back of the mesh with it. Puck bounces to the side of the net. Whoa! Robidoux throws a big check. Picks up the loose puck. Here's Robidoux with it. Looks. Goes to Job. He's got room. Can't get the shot off, though. Had it bounce off his stick. He'll flip it to Mankies. Mankies has got Robidoux in front. Can he knock it down? He can, as the goalie knocked it out of the air on the way by. Good idea, just didn't quite work out. Here's a shot from center ice. It's blocked the other way as Wood will pick it up. Adam Wood picks up the headman to Mankies. He just deflects it deep in Greece territory. Ryan Shannon back after it. Angstrom bothering him. The puck squirts free to Christensen. He'll start out the other way for Greece. 1-0, Greece leads. About 3 minutes left in the period. Into the zone it goes, and it's poke checked by Carroll in behind the net as he ties the man up. The puck is underneath him. That is Christensen, the defenseman, who tried to do a little coast-to-coast. Here's a long headman pass to Rochford. Rochford looks. He's got Angstrom. Here comes Tad across the blue line. Here's Tad, makes his move, and lost it off the end of his stick. Angstrom going after it, trying to center. It's knocked away by the defenseman, Shannon. Shannon doesn't clear the zone. Kept in there. Comes to Rochford. Rochford goes to Angstrom. Angstrom trying to drop it through the middle as pinching in was Francia, but he couldn't get it through, and back the other way comes Greece, and down the ice it goes. Spatafor comes out of his net to play it into the corner. Around the boards. Oh, hard check. There's going to be a penalty on Massena. Back to the blue line. Yeah, here's a shot. It's gloved by Spatafor. Converse is going to get called. He left his feet.
Well, Tommy Crusoe had a much better view than I did. He's calling him for roughing, but I thought it was a good, solid check. That's something that Raiders needed out there to use the body as he took the Rice player into the corner. He's calling him roughing.
Boarding, isn't it?
Well, maybe it was boarding. I'm not sure. Probably was, but I thought it was a good check, but I'm not the official. But that might wake the Raiders up somewhat. The bet had a good scoring opportunity just a second ago when Steve Mankies over on the right side found Robidoux all alone, but he had a guy in between. He backhanded about a waist-high pass, hoping that Robidoux could knock it down, but goaltender Tommy Bach, Johnny on the spot, he picked it out of midair.
Made a really good play, actually. Raiders clear it to the blue line, not out of the zone. They got to kill another penalty here. Only been 2 in this first period, both to Massena. Puck in the circle as they move it around. Rice with it. He can dangle. He's got the puck side in that short side shot. Spatafor makes the save and holds on for the face-off.
I see, right there, Jerry, you're down a man. Cardinal Sin, Stevie Smith, one of the stalwarts of the Raiders all year long, but definitely a guy like You don't play the puck, especially a guy like Andy Rice, who just turned him inside and out. So you're down 2 men. Rice comes out of the corner with the puck, and Stevie Smith's still in the corner. So basically you're down 2 men. Got to play the body on him.
What you're supposed to do is knock him on his... Here's another shot right off the face-off, and it goes into the corner. Now Robidoux comes up with a puck, moves it to the blue line, but not out of the zone. Out by the blue line. Here's a shot through traffic. Spatafor got a pad on it. It kicks back to the 45, back to the point. Controlled by Shannon. He'll move it around the 45. They dump it in the corner. Picked up there by Smith. He doesn't clear it. And pinching in now is Allison in behind the net. Trying to go by Park. He'll go back to the other point. That is Whitmore back at the point. Raiders try to clear the zone and finally do. With 39 seconds left in the man advantage. They're also going to change the penalty killers. We're down to 1:24 left in period number 1. 1-0 Lightning lead Massena on kind of a strange goal that went off of the Massena defenseman. Both teams have had some good chances. Raiders have had some good chances. So has Greece. And here they come again on the power play. Headman into the zone. Setting it up. Here's the shot. Spatafor comes way out to make the save into the corner. Picked up there by the Lightning. Moving it around the horn. Back to the point it goes. Shannon winds up his shot, his block, gets it right back again into the corner. That was Rochford, 2-1. That'll take care of the penalty. See how quickly that forward can get back into the play. They try to move it in front. Raiders are going to control, and they dump it to the blue line. It bounces out to center ice. And who is that? That was Engstrom, who made a great play. So the Raiders kill another one off. The bouncer hit the flag. And again, the puck came up and hit the flag that's hanging under the score clock. No whistle.
Well, no whistle, but they could have called Greece player for 15 yards for delay a game. He carried the puck about 15 yards. He thought there was going to be a whistle, so he grabbed the puck. He was waiting. He had the puck in his hand, and no whistle. I tell you, it's been slow at time and questionable at others, but 31 seconds left in this first period. I tell you, this Greece club, good offensive club, but I think that their Achilles heel is on defense. We'll talk about more about that later.
Off the faceoff, puck deep in the Massena zone. Carroll in after it. He takes the check, the puck bouncing into the corner. Robbie Whitcup in there just battling for it. He didn't know where the puck is, but he's got his man. And now there's going to be a penalty on Greece. I got to give Whitcup credit for that one because he was just battling his man, wasn't worried about the puck, and the Greece guy retaliated.
And both officials coming to the box. We'll wait and see if there's going to be 2 penalties here. I don't believe they both had the same call. Well, I guess they did. Both John Simons and Tommy Caruso.
So the Raiders are going to pick up a power play here right at the end of the period. Ryan Wilson will go.
The Raiders are questioning. Yeah, there is. I think there's going to be 2. I don't know because Tommy Caruso on the near side down in the corner, he had the interference call, and John Simons had one on the other side away from the play. They both came to the box. Either that youngster's going to get a double minor or Greece is picking up 2 minors. We'll wait and see. But 19, so they only have 1 up on the board.
Well, we'll see what happens, but...
well, I guess not.
19 seconds left in the period. Raiders are trailing by a goal here, but I think you're right. If they can get it deep in Greece territory and put some pressure on.
Well, they're one-man forecheck right now and allowing...
you were right, Coach. I'll tell you what.
He had a double minor,
yeah. Okay. Right on the ball again.
Yeah. Got one right.
I tell you what, this guy doesn't miss too much, folks. Raiders with the puck now with 10 seconds left in the period. Into the zone it goes. Engstrom kind of overskated. Has it knocked away by Robidoux. Here's Robidoux back to the point to Park. Park into Mankey's. Mankey's pass intercepted. That'll take care of the period right there. And the Raiders trying to set up but didn't really have a lot of time. So they're going to have a lot of time. And Park at the points. Off the face-off, Park picks up the loose puck. Headman pass, Mankey's. He just deflects it in the or Engstrom rather, but it's knocked away, and back down the ice it goes. Bouncing into the zone and picked up by Brian Carroll. He stops behind his net. We've got Andy Rice out there looking to kill it off, and he knocks it away momentarily, and down the ice it goes. And again, Raiders a little sloppy here to start with. Sometimes I think it's tough to start out on a power play and getting much going, but we'll see what happens here. Comes to Mankey's. Mankey's takes it across on the off wing. Here's Mankey's now looking to take it deep in the corner. Flips it in behind the net for Engstrom. He rounds the boards to Robidoux. Robidoux back to the point. Carroll back to Robidoux. Here's Robidoux skating down the middle. He'll go to Park on the other side. Park winds up. Sharp angle shot. Save made. Puck goes in behind. Robidoux looks to center, but it's knocked away to Rice. And he'll just rag the puck out to center ice. And it's knocked away by Park, and he gets it back again. Here's the shot, and the save made by Spatafor. David Park had gotten the puck and then lost it right back to Rice. Engstrom comes back the other way. Makes his move. Takes it wide left side. Here's Engstrom in behind the net. Gets tied up. Slips the puck to Mankey's. Back to Engstrom. He'll leave it for Robidoux. Matt picks up the puck into the circle. Right side of the goalie. Back to the point. Carroll. Back to Robidoux. Robidoux, Carroll, his shot, and he fanned on it. Back to the point, kept in by Steve Smith, who's out there now. To Robidoux. Robidoux, along the boards, gets tied up. The puck stolen away, and out to center ice again. We're down to a minute left in the man advantage, and the Raiders really have not generated anything yet.
Well, they got to move without the puck.
Here's Mankey's shot. The save made. Rebound, short side attempt by Robidoux. He just was too deep. He'll drop it to Mankey's. Mankey's goes to the side of the net. Got room, the backhander right on. And in the net it goes. And the Raiders score a power play goal. Not the most pretty goal I've ever seen, but they'll take it. And they score a power play to lead it, or to tie it up 1-1.
Well, what's fair for one is fair for the other. The Lightning got their goal was kind of, I won't say tainted, and that one right between the legs. Tommy Bach would like to have that one back. Steve Menkes picked up the puck in the corner and to the right of Bach and worked his way out in front. And on his backhander, tried to get a lot on him, but just as he went to pull the trigger, it kind of rolled off the end of his stick, and Bach was expecting something else, something with a little more force. And as he did, he went down that butterfly. The middle opened up, and it trickled right between the 5-hole.
And maybe had he been able to get something on it, it wouldn't have gone in. But it did go in, and the Raiders have tied it up on the power play. Back the other way at center ice, Whitcup can't control it, back in the zone. Derek Whitmore trying to go wide. He shovels it right in front. Spatafor just kicks it away to the blue line. Whitcup can't clear, but following up is Robbie Whitcup, and he'll dump it down the ice, and they wave the icing off. Around the boards it goes. Into the corner, hard check thrown by Robbie Whitcup, but the Lightning move it back down the ice. Back it goes to icing, and we'll have a whistle and a face-off.
That tying goal coming at the 1:53 mark, a power play goal, is 13th of the year. Steve Menkes with Matt Rabideau picking up the assist. 1-1 hockey game with 12:34 left in the second period. That's Menkes from Rabideau at the 1:53 mark.
Not the prettiest goal we've seen this year, Coach.
They all count, Jerry.
You betcha. There's
they all
still
count.
A 1 on that scoreboard on the Massena side. Off the draw, here's a quick shot by Engstrom, and it's gloved up over the net by Bach. He was looking for the corner. Might have been a little bit high, but Bach got a glove on it, and over it went.
We've seen that many times, especially face-offs to the goaltender's right with this line. Rochefort will take the draw. He's excellent on the backhand, and he puts Engstrom right in the slot. Converse up tight to pick off the defenseman, and it's one motion and that quick trigger by Engstrom. He's excellent at it on the stick, and it's away.
Rochefort will take the draw again, same spot, right side of the goalie. And this time he does not win it cleanly, but it goes to Engstrom anyway. He gets a backhander off, the save made by Bach again, and he had Paul Rochefort breathing down his neck, and he holds on.
The Raiders in the first period had a total of 3 shots, and here with just less than 3 minutes, 2.5 minutes, they've upped it to 4 in that second period. So
a little more jump in their step.
A little more jump.
Off the face-off. In the corner it goes, controlled by the Lightning on the defense as they move it around the horn. Raiders putting a little more forechecking pressure on. Comes bouncing to the blue line. Engstrom tries to keep it in, couldn't do it. Now it's back out to center ice. To the Massena line, it's dumped deep. Spatafor comes out of his net to play it into the corner. Around the boards. They battle for it. Comes to Rochefort. Rochefort to Park. Park just moves it and lugs it out to center ice. Taken off his stick by Whitmore. Right back in the zone he goes. Here's Whitmore. Quick shot, save made. Spatafor, and he's going to cover it up and hold on for the face-off. Now a little pushing and shoving and extracurricular as Park gets done. Now they're going to call them both. David Park just got railed by Whitmore and ended up on his backside, but they're going to call them both.
And David Park has got his hands out in a pleading fashion. What did I do? But referee Tom Caruso wants to hear nothing of the sort. Number 28 going to the box, Wayne Whitmore. He's effortless skater. And that's how he just great skater out there, Jerry. And that shot, he just wheeled around a defenseman deep in the right corner and from pretty tough angle, ripped one. But Nathaniel Spatafor, good position, had no problems holding tight to the post and making the save.
So we'll be skating 4-on-4 plus the goaltenders. And the face-off will be back in the Massena zone. Engstrom and Rochefort out there with Smith and Brian Carroll. And coming out is Andy Rice. Rice will take the face-off. He's out up front with Mike Roof. Off the draw, Raiders control. Carroll has it knocked off his stick in behind the net. And down he goes, but Rice stays with it. Rice along the boards. Carroll takes him out of the play. Rochefort comes in to move it ahead. He just got railed from behind. There's going to be a penalty immediately. Oh boy, they're going to give him the gate hit from behind. They really couldn't argue that one very much.
No, but
but it ain't going to work.
That's number 11, Mike Roof, pleading his case. But again, one of those, even if it's borderline, the officials are going to call it. They're not going to take that anything close to hitting from behind.
It was kind of behind the side quarter or something. It wasn't a direct hit from behind, but it was close enough. And it was pretty one of those obvious ones where he came in and really rammed them into the boards.
Yes, and it riled the crowd so much they jumped up and yelled, and that always helps to influence the official.
No, coach. Off the face-off, Robidoux kicks it back to Carroll, who drops it over to Engstrom. Raiders on another power play. They've gotten a power play goal here. Engstrom dumps it deep. It's stopped by the goaltender. He'll flip it in the corner. Mankeys, no, it'll be Engstrom racing in, trying to flip it to Robidoux, knocked away and picked up by Simmons. To the blue line, kept in by Carroll. Carroll flips it over to Engstrom. He's got all kinds of room. Skates in, Robidoux in front, shot, score! Nice pass by Engstrom. Power play goal. The Raiders have a 2-1 lead.
That's a beautiful goal, but the guy that made the play, he's going to get an assist on it, but just Brian Carroll using great anticipation. Grease had the puck, had possession behind the net, and their man was going to run it on the left dasher, and Brian Carroll read that, and he immediately got to the boards on the right side, prevented the puck from going out, kept it in, made a great pass to Engstrom on the left side, and he shot Big 22, Matt Robidoux, all alone, down low, made the pass, and Robidoux just redirected it by goaltender Tommy Bach. But a great play by Brian Carroll.
So the Raiders get their second power play goal, so we're going to have a couple of winners here at the end of the period. And so now we're back to 4-on-4. So Massena taking advantage, and they continue this power play, just fantastic power plays. Their percentage goes up with their 2 for 2. Now the puck in the corner, racing for it is Mankeys. Mankeys drops it for Robidoux. Robidoux steps by the check, rips it around in front, just a little bit too far for Mankeys, and Grease will move it out to center ice. They got a man breaking in. That's Rice. His shot high over the net as the defenseman got back. Mankeys gathers it, flips it high in the air down the ice, and will it go far enough for icing? Yep, it does. Icing on Massena, and that'll move the faceoff back in the Raiders' zone. Raiders, and there's going to be another penalty on Grease, as Rice hit Steve Mankeys on the way by and knocked him down, and now Rice gets the gate. He'll be called for interference, I'm sure.
And if he keeps yapping, he's going to get more than one. He'll get a misconduct. That go-ahead goal, the 3:46 mark, his 19th of the year. Matt Robidoux from Tad Engstrom and Brian Carroll, second of the night, second power play goal of the night for the Raiders.
So Grease back down a man again, and it'll be 4-on-3 again. So the Raiders are 2 for 2 in the power play, and they go into power play again.
And they'd like to make it 3 for 3.
Raiders lead 2-1 now on the Corky's Collision scoreboard. Off the face-off, puck dumped in the Massena zone. Carroll picks it up. Long headman pass for Steve Mankeys. Mankeys takes it in. Nice drop to Robidoux. Robidoux turns it back to the point, but there's nobody there for Massena, as he was expecting Engstrom to be back there, but he wasn't. So now Tad has to come back and pick it up in his own zone. Here's Engstrom building up the head of steam. Dipsy doodles right down the middle. Now we're back to 5-on-4 power play for Massena. Headman pass in front. Mankey shot. Score! And the Raiders take a 3-1 lead and another power play goal.
Oh boy, Steve Mankeys, he just ripped one from just inside the dot on that right side, and what a shot as he got it high up over the left shoulder. A goaltender, Tommy Bach, and just about blew the back of the net out. A great shot by Steve Mankeys, and the Raiders go up 3-1.
So the Raiders now are 3 for 3 on the power play.
3 for 3 on the power play, and going into tonight's, they were 16 for 67 for 23.9%, and I'll tell you, that's going to jump. That's 19 for 70, and we'll work that out in a bit. But
can't do that in your head, Coach?
Not right off the bat.
So it's 3-1 Massena. The Raiders scoring 3 quick goals here in the first 5 minutes of the second period. Headman pass, Engstrom. Engstrom ahead to Converse. He takes it across. Here comes Converse. Stops at the circle. Right in front. Here's a shot. And a save made by the goaltender. And back to the blue line it comes. Great opportunity there for Paul Rochford on a beautiful feed. And the puck crosses the blue line into the Massena zone. Here's a shot. And it goes into the corner. Back it goes. Steve Smith had lost his stick. Now the puck comes back to the blue line. Here's a shot deflected in front. Francia. And he bangs it out to center ice. Raiders almost victimized there. Steve Smith had lost his stick, and in effect, here comes Engstrom. Back the other way, 1-on-1. Engstrom makes the move. Nice drop pass. Rochford, he couldn't gather it in. Just didn't get enough mustard on it. Back the other way. As things have opened up here a little bit, into the zone it comes. That's Allison in the corner. Feeds it in front. Nice sprawling, sliding check made by Francia. Back to the point. Here's a shot deflected high over the net. Puck in the corner. After it is Whitmore. Dumps it in behind. Francia throws a check. The puck bounces free. Steve Smith. And there's going to be a penalty on Massena. Interference. The puck was right there.
Raiders are going to pick it up. Steve Smith is getting called for interference, but Tommy Caruso right on the spot making the call. And let's see what Greece can do. Those 3 power play goals for the Raiders coming at, 2 minutes and 47 seconds.
So the face-off will be in the Massena zone as the Raiders are down a man again, leading 3-1 on the Corky's scoreboard. Massena 3 power play goals in the first 5 minutes of this second period.
Coming within 2 minutes and 47 seconds of each other.
Interference the call, and, well, I don't know. I guess it must have been if that's what they called, right? Here's a shot from the point. Save made Spatafor, and he holds on. A real blast from the point by Derek Whitmore. And he really blasted it, but it was right chest high, and Spatafor had no problem handling it.
And the key, he saw it all the way, right. Jerry.
Nobody
That's
in front.
Key. No screen, no traffic, and you can usually handle those.
Face off left side. Mankies has it knocked away by Rice all by himself. Shot save. Point blank save by Spatafor as the seas parted.
Great save.
Oh boy, back to the point it comes. Moving it around the horn. They'll go on the other side. Here's a shot knocked down by the Massena D. Bounces back to the blue line. It's Whitmore. He'll dump it in the corner for Rice. Gets away from him. Horan throws the check. The puck is free. Side of the net. Bouncing in behind Horan again. He'll flip it in the corner and race after it. Kevin Horan. Headman doesn't clear the zone. They battle for it there. Menkes and Robidoux both. And they both fired it down the ice. 45 seconds left of the man advantage. Raiders making some penalty-killing changes as the, one of the 2 Nats, Angstrom's out there along with, who is that other penalty killer? I think that's Nathan Whitcup.
Whitcup.
In the zone, it's Whitmore. Has it knocked away by Park. Park flips it over to Carroll. Carroll wraps it around the boards and won't go far enough to get out of the zone. Kept in by Whitmore. He flips it behind the net. They look to hit the side of the net with it. And we'll have a whistle and a face-off. And Spatafor is going to hold on.
Oh, and a great save, and coming at certainly an opportune time for the Raiders. Nathaniel Spatafor, as he just robbed number 10, Andrew Rice. As you called, the seas parted face-off, and a puck came back to Rice, and the Raider defenseman got picked off, and he went right through the slot area, went right in, had his head up, waited for Spatafor to make the first move, but he didn't. He made Rice make the first move. Great save by goaltender Nathaniel Spatafor.
Down to 19 seconds left in the man advantage. Off the face-off. Won by Grease, back to the point. They'll flip it along the boards in the corner, trying to move it in head. Carroll gets a piece of it, whacks it out to the blue line, kept in at the point again by the Lightning. They control it. In behind, that's Allison. Flips it along the boards to the blue line. Here's a shot deflected right on. And that was one of those little soft deflections, and I think Spatafor was ready for a harder shot, but he got over in time anyway.
Well, again, he had the quick reactions. It doesn't have to soft or hard. When the puck changes directions on you, Jerry, you're set for, for one spot, and all of a sudden it changes 45, 50 degrees, but good reaction by goaltender Nathaniel Spatafor. Again, good position. He's alert. He's aggressive out there, moving from side to side. I like to see that. And he's looking strong, especially on this power play.
And now the power play has elapsed, so we're back to even Steven here, and the Raiders win the faceoff. Steve Smith, he drops it for Francia. Francia goes to Mankies. Mankies for Robidoux. Robidoux busting down the left wing side. He's got Job with him. Takes it in, has it poke checked away by the defenseman, who flips it down the ice. Not far enough for icing as Francia picks it up at his own blue line. Headman pass intercepted. And back into the zone it goes. That's Whitmore, lost it off the end of his stick. It trickles in on Spatafor, and he'll hold on for the face-off. And now we're going to have another penalty.
Well, I know 28's going to get one, definitely. Is he going to pick one? Is Massena
Robidoux, apparently.
It's Whitmore again, as he had chopped the Raider player behind the head when he was on the ice, and evidently Tom Caruso must have had Matt Robidoux for one, but I know John Simon had just fingered the Grease player. I didn't see Robidoux's infraction, but.
So we're back to 4-on-4 plus the goaltenders, just past the halfway point of the hockey game. The Raiders lead at 3-1, 3 power play goals in the first 5 minutes of the second period, and they have the lead after trailing 1-0 coming into the second period. Andrew Rice out there to take the face-off. He'll face it off against Tad Engstrom. Off the draw, Engstrom wins it to David Park. That's Steve Menkes, excuse me. Menkes wins it to Park. Park stops behind his own net, looks up ice, moves it along to Menkes, out to center ice, gets away from him, and is picked up there by the defenseman. That's Ryan Simmons. Simmons to the Massena line, bounces by everybody, in fact, and goes to Spatafor, who leaves it for Steve Smith. Smith flips it around to Park. David starts up, skates it ahead. Here's Park, has it knocked away. Here's an opportunity in front, and Rice can't catch up with a return pass from Ryan Wilson. Here comes Menkes now. Menkes, headman, doesn't clear the zone again. It hit Job's skate and went back into the corner. Steve Smith after it, flips it into the corner. Bouncing puck back to the blue line. We got a penalty.
And I think he's going to call this one on number 10.
Andy Rice.
Andy Rice
for holding.
Yeah, he upended Steve Smith in behind to the right of goaltender Nathaniel Spatafor.
And Rice doesn't look like he wants to come over, but he's going to.
Yeah, he's a player with his caliber, his ability to score goals, but he's got a lot of lip on him, and
He better be careful because Tommy only takes so much.
And he's actually taken more than he should have up to this point without giving him a misconduct. But he can't help his club in the penalty box, and there's no question everybody in the rink saw him put the clutch on him and haul Stevie Smith down.
The Raiders are 3 for 3 in the power play, and they go on another power play and another 4-on-3 power play.
And Steve Menkes has 2 of those 3 power play goals, and he's out there again.
And Brian Carroll, who set up the first one beautifully, has the puck. He takes it across and stops out at the blue line. He cross-ice pass to Park. He's got room, winds up, his shot is blocked, gets it right back again. Took a long time to get that one off. Goes to Carroll. Carroll goes to the 45, Menkes, back to Carroll. Carroll goes to Park, who's pinched into the circle, right in front. Here's Menkes, can't quite get the shot off. Good defensive play by Christensen to break it up. Now it comes to Engstrom. Engstrom out by the blue line, he'll dump it into Menkes. Menkes goes to the side of the net, gets it right back again off the goalie stick, looks to center, bounces in front, and it's cleared by a defenseman out to center ice. And now we got matching minors are finished, so we're back to 5-on-4 power play for Massena. Engstrom circling in his own end now. Picks up a forechecker in Wayne Whitmore. Gives it off to Carroll, who drops it to Engstrom, who headmans it to Menkes. Menkes lost it off the end of his stick. Robidoux follows, but Menkes had been knocked offside, and we're down to 30 seconds left in the Massena man advantage.
And the Grease Lightning leading 1-0 at the end of the first period. They've been blitzkrieged here in this second period with foolish penalties and the Raiders' ability to take advantage of them. 3 power play goals, one at the 153 mark, 346 and 444. Steve Menkes the first and third, and Matt Robidoux sandwiched in between his 19th. And that's Steve Menkes' 13th and 14th goals of the year.
Face off just outside the Grease zone. Off the draw, Job drops it to Carroll at the red line, and he's going to just dump it. Intercepted and dumped back down the ice. And it goes into the corner. Spatafor will play it around the boards to Carroll. Carroll looks up ice, flips it ahead for Engstrom. Engstrom to Robidoux. Robidoux gets knocked down. Engstrom tries to follow. He can't find the puck. Here's a shot from center ice. Oh, that was deflected off Francia's skate. Man, oh man, that was just barely wide. Raiders flip it to the blue line and out to center ice. Penalties elapsed, so the Raiders do not score, so they're 3 for 4 on the power play that time. Comes to the Massena line. Francia, headman too far, knocked back to the Massena line again. And across the blue line it goes. Poke checked by Francia, in behind the net. That is Wayne Whitmore. Knocked away, comes to Job. He just bangs it out to center ice. And nice body check. That's what the crowd was oohing and eyeing about. Here comes Robidoux, steps by a check, gets knocked off the puck, tries to feed it through, but it's knocked away as Menkes couldn't quite get the pass where he wanted it, and back comes Grease the other way. 3-1, Raiders lead. Here's a shot from center ice. Spatafor gave up a big rebound. It comes back out into the corner. Hard check thrown by Wood. Puck comes back to the blue line. They got a man breaking 3, but it's knocked away, and Joe picks it up. Headman to Engstrom. Engstrom just upended, and he goes down heavily, and looks like he's hurt. And the whistle will blow as the guy kind of submarined him a little bit, but it was a good check.
It was number 9, Scott Root. He did one of those old hip checks, and Tad Engstrom didn't see him looking back for the pass and under full head of steam, and I think it was number 9, Scott Root, who saw him coming and got down and got the hip into him and Ooh, I hope it's not that left knee. Let's just hope it's the wind, but...
Coach Ed Latham is out administering to him right now. He's still laying, and now he's getting up slowly. And Steve Smith over there to help. No, he goes back down again.
Just the heart, one of the guys that are, the heart and soul of this Raider club.
Oh, my goodness.
Tad Engstrom.
He's talking.
Yeah, but it's up. It looks like a hip flexor where it's I'm not sure. I don't think it's a knee. I think it's up higher than...
He probably got it right on the hip.
Yeah, the way it's coach is flexing it, and the way that Tad is kind of pointing, it's above the knee.
Yeah,
see, it's back in the hip, the buttocks area. He good solid check. He never saw it. And the main thing is what it surprised him, and the ones that you don't see are the ones that really hurt.
He's getting up now, and is he gonna? He's getting a big hand from the crowd. I think he's going to go off the ice.
Yeah, they're going to.
Although he's moving under his own steam.
He is. The question, it's not one of those things that you're concerned about hospital, things like that, anything broken, but it's
whether be painful.
It's painful, and whether he's going to be able to come back today, tomorrow, whatever. That's.
Of course, there is teammate Nick Toth, who is yet to play a game for Massena, right over there to go into the locker room with him. But we'll see what happens. There's a kid who's got so much heart. You hate to see him get hurt.
Well, you hate to see any of them,
right.
But he is the. Several of them are really the heart and soul, and he's one of the. He's got a heart as big as his number out there.
Off the face-off. Raiders control. Steve Smith, headman. Oh, he almost had Nathan Whitcup. Bounced by him, and that'll be an icing on Massena. If Nathan had been able to corral that, he would have been gone. We're down to 3:48 left in the second period. A very interesting second period. The Raiders have scored 3 power play goals and have taken the lead here 3-1 on the Grease Lightning.
And evidently the Grease was not prepared for the strength of the Massena power play because, if they weren't before, they are after this period.
Off the face-off, puck sits in the circle, trickles back to the point. Oh, they got a man in front. It's Rice again. His shot is blocked. I think that was Wood that came back, got a stick on it. That's the second time he's been all by himself in front of the net, and he waited too long that time. Now the puck in the corner as they battle for it. It squirts free. And the two players have gotten their helmets caught, Steve Smith and Scott Frigo.
I've seen that happen before, Jerry.
And Frigo had to take his helmet off.
The wire cages.
They were head to head, and they got them caught together.
And got a good roar from the crowd, a nice crowd here on hand at the Massena Arena for this hockey game tonight.
Yeah, there is a good crowd here tonight.
Good contingent from Rochester across the way.
Both teams making changes here. Peter Levine is going to take Angstrom's place. No, not Peter. Chris Levine. I did it again. He's going to take Angstrom's place on that wing. Headman pass comes to Levine. He just trickles it out to center ice. Picked up there by the Lightning. That's Wayne Whitmore. He flips it ahead to brother Derek, and Derek takes it across. Makes a nice move, makes another nice move. And a shot in front. They got a big save by Spatafor. Oh my goodness, he came out of nowhere to make the save on Kevin Allison as they fed the Whitmore feathered a pass to Allison. I don't think he expected it because he never got the shot off, and Spatafor came out of nowhere to jump on it.
Well, I'll tell you, number 27, Whitmore just danced through 2 Raiders, forward and defense right in, got the shot off. Well, it was a pass, a kind of fanning pass, but Nathaniel Spatafor out of the net, and I think it was number 12. Was that?
No, it was 18.
Was it 18 Allison coming in? He had the wide open net, and somehow Spatafor got across and made the save. Outstanding save.
Here comes Mankies out of the face-off. Here comes Mankies with Joe and trailer, and Mankies tries to dipsy-doodle his way through. The puck got through. He didn't, and back comes Grease the other way. Into the zone it goes. That's Derek Whitmore. Here's the shot. He fired it wide. Puck goes back to the point. Here's another shot up over the net. Bouncing into the corner. Raiders lead 3-1. And it's Francia can't come up with it. Puck in the corner again as they battle for it. goes to the side of the net, and wisely Spatafor covers it up.
I'll tell you, the Raiders really are back on their heels right now, Jerry, whether they're thinking about Tad Engstrom or what, but they're letting Grease come to them and just taking it right to them, wave after wave. And Nathaniel Spatafor has been outstanding, and we've caught a couple of breaks along the way, but you allow a club that can throw the puck around like Grease does, that much open ice, you're going to pay the penalty sooner or later.
Magnani against Robidoux. Robidoux wins the draw. In behind Ian Francia, steps out from beside the net. Here's Francia, flips it around the boards, intercepted. Now they move it right across the goal mouth, picked up by Matt Jobe. He's got a man breaking, and it almost went to Mankies, couldn't catch the pass. Bouncing puck comes back into the Grease zone. They control and move it around and out to center ice. Into the zone it goes. Spatafor is going to cover up and hold on for the face-off. We're down to 2:10 left, and on the scoreboard, the Evergreen Memorial scoreboard is 3-1 Massena.
And the consolation and championship consolation, what time tomorrow?
1:30 for the Consi, and the championship around 4.
And the loser of this game will take on the Spalding Club out of Vermont, and the winner, the St. Joe's Marauders, the #1 ranked team in New York State.
Off the draw, Grease back to the point as they win the face-off. And here's the drive from the point, deflected in behind the net. Deflected off the stick of Ryan Wilson. Now it's Francia taking it behind the net. He just leaps it back to the blue line, kept in. Comes to Francia again, he'll flip it along the corner. It comes to Jobe. Jobe lifts it high in the air, and that's going to go into it did go into the Grease bench, and the whistle will blow.
The Raiders, as we mentioned before, just simply back on their heels. They're having trouble. The only way they can get it out of their own end is loft it high in the air or ice it. And Coach Latham trying to find a combination that'll take charge back there. I don't know if psychologically they could be just kind of stunned by the loss of Tad Engstrom, but they certainly have to pick their game up a notch, or they're going to be picking the puck out of the back of the net. Nathaniel Spatafor has really been strong here in this latter part of the second period.
Face off right side, it'll be Rice taking the draw against Robbie Whitcup. They're looking to set up the formation. Off the face off, back to the point. Into the corner, the defenseman pinching in. That Salter loses its side of the net. Francia picks it up and lifts it off the glass. Bounces to the blue line, kept in again. Here's the shot deflected in behind by Francia. And I'll tell you what, you've talked about that before, Coach. Bounces into the corner, finally comes to Nathan Whitcup. This time he just bangs it off the boards out to center ice. Back into Grease territory, Simmons. And we're going to have matching minors. Nathan Whitcup and who is that? Mike Roof will get called each. And that happened behind the play.
Behind the play, they had checked each other in that between the red line and the blue line and had said a few words. As the play went the other way, they continued to see who was going to get the last shove in, and referee John Simon's going to run them both.
And I think they're going to be, the officials are watching closely, I think, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Because it got a little rough there for a time, and so they're watching very closely. We're down to 1:24 left in the period, and on the Corky's Collision scoreboard, it's 3-1. We're in the second period here. Raiders are leading. And Robidoux comes back out with Mankies and Steve Smith. Robidoux wins the draw, barges his way through to Mankies, and he fired it wide on the backhand. Almost had his hat trick there.
Oh,
great opportunity. Mankies still has the puck. He makes the move. He's in the circle, goes back to the point. Smith winds up. His shot is blocked. Goes into the corner. Mankies again. Mankies side of the net has it knocked away. And back come the Lightning to center ice. To the Massena line, into the zone it goes. They still have a man free. It bounces into the corner, and we're going to have a penalty on Massena. Oh boy, that's a bogus penalty, but they're going to call him for tripping. Raiders trying to get the puck. Robidoux knocks it down, takes a whack at it, missed it. Now Park will pick it up, and they're going to call tripping.
He's calling the penalty, but I tell you what, he missed, and the good thing that Grease didn't score, because there was a hand pass there, Jerry. The Grease player hand passed to his teammate and kept that sequence alive down there, and the officials missed that. Could have been very costly for Massena. A very borderline call there.
Oh,
I agree with you. A very, very borderline call. And
so that'll give Grease a 4-on-3 power play with 43 seconds left in the period. And now Ed Latham is out there very unhappy.
I don't blame him. He's stalling a little bit too, I think, trying to get a little extra rest for the unit, which is going to be Stevie Smith, David Park, and Paul Rochefort that he's going to put out there. But this 4-on-3, more open ice for guys like Whitmore and Andy Rice. They're dangerous as is.
Both Whitmores are out there, too. Rice will take the face-off against Rochford. Off the draw, Rice and Rochford still battle for it, and Rochford gets tripped up. There's going to be another penalty, as Rice is going to get called for tripping.
Well, Paul Rochford, I think Paul will get the Academy Award on that one.
Give him the statue. He deserves it.
I think Paul helped to influence that one, working hard, trying to fight through the check, and the Greece player, number 10, Andy Rice, kind of just had the stick out there, and Paul did trip over it, but he embellished it quite a bit and took a headlong dive.
Hey, that's good playing.
Well,
if you can get away with it. I think in college this year that you can get a penalty for that,
You
right?
can in the pros, definitely. That's for taking a dive, yeah.
Okay, here comes David Park barging his way through. Goalie comes out to play it. Tom Bach made a good play. Puck to the blue line, kept in there. Smith, quick shot. Save made by Bach again. 23 seconds left in the period, I should say. And here comes Grease the other way, out to center ice, across the blue line as they set it up in the corner, although it's 3-on-3 here. And it's knocked away by Rochford. Paul just flips it ahead. On the stick of Steve Smith. 5-4 seconds. Smith takes it across. I don't think he's going to turn the corner. And the buzzer sounds and the period ends. And let's see here. That was number 25, who is, I got to find his number. Yeah, he kind of gave Steve a little shot after the whistle. The buzzer went, but off the faceoff, puck dumped deep in the Grease zone. Back after it there as two come back. Andy Christensen picks it up. Tad's okay? Okay, we get the word. Tad is okay, and that's great news for Massena. Yeah, I guess he is. He's out there right now. Mankey's after it at the blue line, has it knocked away. And the layoff sides on Grease, but they clear, and now comes to Angstrom. Angstrom to Mankey's. Steve takes it in the zone, steps by one check, and has the puck taken away. Back the other way comes Whitmore. Long headman pass. Here comes the other Whitmore. That's Derek breaking in on net, and it's poke checked away. Great play by Carroll. And the puck goes to the side of the net, and Spatafor is going to hold on. Brian Carroll did a great job to get back.
Outstanding.
He's had a great game tonight.
Play by defenseman Brian Carroll as he picked up as David Park got beat up just inside the blue line. Whitmore was just racing down that right side, Wayne Whitmore, and wheeled around and had the inside track. And Brian Carroll, coming from the weak side, dove and knocked the puck off Whitmore's stick just as he was getting ready to trigger it. Great defensive play by Brian Carroll.
Parkey kind of lunged for the puck, and
well, especially he didn't have any momentum again when Whitmore was under full head of steam.
That's right.
And that's a mismatch right there when that happens.
Face off in the Massena zone. Puck comes back to the blue line. They battle for it there in the circle. Mankey's. Steve Mankey's been playing like a man possessed here tonight too. Robidoux, Backey, and Mankey's take it across. Mankey's gets by the D. Into the corner, gets knocked down at the last second, goes into the boards. And here comes Grease out to center ice. Allison with it. He'll dump it deep. And icing will be the call as he dumped it from the wrong side of the red line. We're down to 13:54 left in the third period. On the Corky's Collision scoreboard, it's 3-1 for Massena. Is Wall Street taking you on the ride of your life? Now's the time to open a safe and secure North Country Savings Bank high-interest certificate of deposit. Stop at any location: Massena, Canton, Potsdam, and Ogdensburg.
Face-off deep in the Grease end to the left of goaltender Tommy Bach.
Off the face-off, it comes back to Grease, and they break out as Converse just couldn't get a stick on it. Here come the Lightning into the zone. They got a man breaking. Big save. Spatafor cleared back in front, and it bounces into the corner. Whoa, boy, another great save by Spatafor. He's having quite a game. Raiders try to clear the zone. They don't. Here's another shot. The rebound, they score. And that time, Spads gave up a big rebound right to, I think it's Christensen, or Whitmore rather.
I think it's Allison. I think it's going to be number 18. We'll wait and see the call, but he'd made 2 or 3 great saves, and that shot came from the point. He made the save, but he gave up the rebound, and I think Allison, cruising on that right side, picked it up, and Spatafor was down on his knees, and he got it up high over the left shoulder. We'll wait and see on the call, but I thought it was 18, but...
Yeah, you're right. It is Allison who gets the goal. So that makes it 3-2 now. So the Raiders' 2-goal advantage has become a 1-goal advantage.
Just prior to that, he made a great save as the Grease player went to the net, and a great pass, and he redirected at the last moment, and Nathaniel made an excellent save. I think that was off of
Here
Whitmore.
Comes Rice back the other way. Takes it in the zone. Rice centering pass, knocked down. It comes bouncing back. Here's a shot. Knocked down again. And Francia bangs it ahead and out to center ice. Picked up by Rice again. He'll backhand it high in the air. Kevin Horan knocks it down. Flips to the grease line. Bouncing puck picked up by Grease as they move it ahead. That was Simmons. Now it's Converse. Moving it ahead. Gets it back again. He can't find it. Now he stays with it. Rochford follows up. He lost it off the end of his stick and back out to center ice. Hard check thrown by Horan. Converse poke checks the puck away, and back the other way comes Simmons. Simmons' headman knocked away to the Massena line, and in the zone it goes. 3-2 now. Raiders leading by 1. Angstrom, headman out to center ice. Simmons stops it and dumps it. Back in the Massena zone. Spatafor leaves it side of the net for Francia. Francia headman to Rochford. Rochford, nice to Angstrom. Angstrom takes it in. And what's the whistle for?
Offside. I think he was. The wing was in just a tad.
Okay.
Converse on that far side was about a half a stride ahead of the puck carrier. That grease goal early at the 125 mark. Kevin Allison from Nicolaco to make it 3-2.
Robbie Whitkup's line out there now against the Magnani line. Off the faceoff, Big David Park trying to barge his way through. Park in the corner now. He'll just dump it behind the net. Back after it there is Christensen. He flips it on the other side, gets it back again, looks to start it out. Here's Christensen, headman knocked away by David Park with that long reach. His headman goes to Nathan Whitcup, bounces by him in the corner. Oliver after it there, flips it around the boards, takes a check. Here's the shot. That's fired wide as Park got a lot on that one. Comes bouncing back to the Massena line where Carroll gathers it in. Here's Carroll, flipping it to Park. Park has it knocked away but manages to move it back to Nathan Whitcup, who just bangs it out to center ice. Robbie Whitcup overskated, and back in the zone it comes. Here's an opportunity in the corner for Chapman. He gets tied up. Bouncing puck goes to the side of the net. Horan throws a check. Comes in front, and Spatafor just knocks it into the corner. Oh, man. Here's Nathan Whitcup. Robbie Whitcup, rather. The puck squirts free in behind the net. It comes to Carroll. And there are bodies flying all over in the crease, but the Raiders move it out. Brown, he's taken off the puck. It bounces free as both teams making changes. To the Massena line it goes, into the zone. Here's a chance for the defenseman. That's Christensen in the corner, flipping it back to the point. Here's a shot, save, kick made by goaltender Spatafor. Puck around the boards to the blue line. At the point, kept in there again. Bounces in behind. Carroll can't come up with it. It's Whitmore flips it around to Allison. To the point. Here's a shot. That's wide. Bouncing puck picked up by Menkes. And here comes Menkes with it. Menkes has got Robidoux trailing. Menkes drops for Robidoux, but it's intercepted. And back the other way comes Grease. Into the zone it goes. Dumped around behind the net. Bounces by everybody into the corner. Allison after it there. Poke check by him, but it's picked up by Whitmore. Centering pass in front, and the shot is fired wide. Picked up by Robidoux. Circles. Rips it around the boards. Intercepted. Comes bouncing in front. Smith picks it up. Ahead to Menkes. Menkes just lofts it in the air. There's going to be a foot race for it. Matt Jobe racing in. He's got it. He shoots. And he fired it wide. Bouncing all the way around the boards. Back to the Massena line. Flipped ahead by Wood. Picked up by Whitmore. He'll dump it to Allison at the open wing. He'll drop it back on the defense. Great opportunity for Matt Jobe. Those are the kind of goals he often scores, too. Now the bouncing puck back in the grease zone. Raiders trying to put a little forechecking pressure on, but the Lightning solve it and move it out to center ice. Here's Wayne Whitmore dumping it in the Massena zone. Stopped in behind the net by Spatafor. He flips it around the boards and kind of got upended. A bouncing puck in the corner. Rice with it. He'll flip it back. Gets it back again. Around the horn it goes. That was Roof. Now the puck along the boards. Rice gets a whack at it. Now Jobe kicks it ahead, and out to center ice it goes. Raiders lead it 3-2. 9.5 left to go in the third period. On the Evergreen Memorial scoreboard, Angstrom throws a check, but the puck squirts to Rice, and he'll dump it deep in the Massena zone. Kevin Horan back after it. Takes it in behind the net. It's knocked away by Rice. Centering pass goes back to the blue line and out to center ice. Rochford can't come up with it. Converse tried to feed it to him and had it kind of half poke checked away. Now the Lightning. Into the Massena zone it goes. They cleared right back. No, it isn't cleared out as the official got in the way. Now Angstrom, headman for Rochford, gets away from him. It's going to trickle right in on the goalie. And he decides to leave it. And for some reason they didn't call icing. Why, I don't know. Now the puck bounces around. out to center ice, all the way down the ice. That's got to be an icing call. It is. And the face-off move back inside Greece territory. 8:47 remaining, third period, and on the Evergreen Memorial scoreboard, it is 3-2 for Massena.
I'll tell you, the third period has been Massena's period all year long, Jerry, outscoring the opposition 27-17. But right at this stage, right now, the Greece Lightning have a little more legs than the Raiders do.
They sure do, and they also had the only goal of the period.
Massena, the only way they're clearing the zone, they're not coming out as a unit. They're just having to dump it out. When Greece gains the Massena's offensive zone, they just, I'll tell you, they're buzzing around, and Massena can't handle them, and they're having a lot of problems.
Face off inside Greece territory after the icing. Robbie Whitcup out to take the draw. He wins the face-off to Nathan, trying to barge his way through, but he's knocked off the puck, and back the other way come the Lightning. And that's the defenseman, Scott Fiji. He's knocked off the puck. The puck goes to Carroll in the corner, flips it down the ice, and that's going to trickle all the way down, but not far enough for icing. Coming out to play it is Bach, and he's going to leave it in behind for Fiji again. Puck along the boards. Fiji bangs it to the blue line, out to center ice. Poke checked into the Massena zone. Carroll after it, ahead to Park. David just moves it ahead, and it comes to Whitcup. Whitcup picking it up, trying to go by the check, but he's taken out of the play by Salter. Now the puck comes in behind the Greece zone, and the defenseman fell down. If the Raiders had been forechecking a little bit, they might have had a steal. Now the puck bounces around the boards and out to center ice. Long headman pass, knocked down. It goes in the corner. Steve Smith after it. Smith gets tied up by the forechecking forward, and the puck whips around the boards to the blue line, kept in at the point. Now Smith follows up. He can't clear the zone, lost his stick. The puck is free, and it bounces off that stick, and Carroll picks it up. He's got a man breaking. He's got Whitcup. Here comes Nathan. Nathan takes it in front, and he can't get the shot off. And there's going to be a penalty. I'll tell you what, Shannon did a heck of a job tying Whitcup up. That was no penalty.
Well, I'd agree with you, but you and I aren't officiating, and the referee is going to make a call on the Greece defender. The Raiders caught a break there. I'll tell you, Jerry, a big break, because it was just a good defensive move by the Greece player, number 3.
I agree.
Ryan Shannon, and he's shaking his head. But again, the Greece Lightning doing everything but scoring here, and 7:35 left in the third period. Raiders up by 1, 3-2, and going to go on the power play, and they've been very successful. All 3 of their goals have been power play goals.
That's right. They're 3 for 4 on the power play. Robidoux will be out there with Mankies, and he wins the draw to Park back at the point. He'll go to Mankies. Mankies steps in front. Oh, tried to knock it through. Comes back to Park. Park flips it to Robidoux. It bounces away from him, and it's cleared down the ice. Now there's going to be a foot race for it. And back in the corner, Carroll after it. He and Allison go together. Park comes in to help out and picks up the puck. Flips it on the wing to Mankies. Back to Park. Park lugs it ahead by 1. He dumps it, and in the zone it goes into the corner. After it is Robidoux and Mankies. They battle, and Angstrom rather. They battle for it there. It goes in behind, where it's picked up by the Lightning. They flip it around the boards, try to move it around. They're just going back and forth now. And the puck comes to Robidoux. I tell you, you do that too much, and it can hurt you. Back to the point, Carroll. Carroll, Park. Park to Robidoux, a little too far. It'll go to Angstrom in the corner. Angstrom takes it by the check, gets it lost in his skate, then comes up with it. Angstrom has it knocked away and taken away, and the puck dumped down the ice. Lightning doing a good job killing.
Well, Jerry, when you get the man advantage, you should have 2 men on the puck. The Raiders haven't. They've got 1. That's why they can. The Lightning can tip it D to D back and forth. They've only got 1 man on the puck.
Now the puck in the Massena zone. It comes to Mankies. He'll have to circle back. And with 10 seconds left in the man advantage, it does not look like the Raiders are going to do anything on this one. Here comes Mankies. Poke checked away. Carroll follows up and dumps it deep. And with 3 seconds left, the puck goes back in the corner. And a hard check thrown there. The bouncing puck comes to the side of the net, and it's dumped out to center ice. Comes to Horan. Just bounced past the Robidoux. He can't catch it. And back comes Greece into the Massena zone. And into the corner it goes. That's the defenseman, Simmons. Back to the point, knocked away by Robidoux, but doesn't get it out of the zone. Dumped in the corner there by Salter. Angstrom after it now. He's got it, and he starts it ahead. Here's Angstrom with it. Rink-wide pass meant for Mankies, too far, intercepted and dumped back in the Massena zone. Back after it is Horan again. Horan circles, flips it on the other side to Ian Francia. Francia's head man gets out to center ice. Picked up there by Salter. Salter flips it ahead to Shannon, and he'll just dump it to the open wing. Both teams making changes. Spatafor, he flipped it and lost it. Here's a puck right in front. And that time, I don't know what happened, but the Raiders kind of got caught there. But the puck sits in the circle as they battle for it. Back to the point. Into the corner again, and around the boards it goes. After it is Rice. Rice centers in front. It's knocked down in the circle. Here's Rice again. Backhander is blocked. The bouncing puck. Rice picks it up, centers it again, and Spatafor is going to cover up. I'll tell you what, the Raiders are extremely fortunate.
And they're extremely tired. They're just kind of hanging on by a thread, and Rice just seems to be gaining, or Grease, more momentum coming on, but Raiders caught a break a second ago. You talked about what happened. Well, Nathaniel Spatafor, a back pass, but he has to know where his teammates are, and he thought there was somebody behind him. There wasn't. That's especially someone with a white shirt, same colored shirt. He threw it behind him, and then had trouble getting back in the net. The only guy over on that side was wearing a black shirt. So
oh boy!
Got a break
and
there.
He was standing behind the net too.
Yes, he had a little trouble getting back around the corner.
Robbie Whitcup will face off against Rice in the Massena zone. Off the face-off, puck picked up by David Park. Park takes it behind, has a little problem with it, then comes up with it, goes on the wing, and Matt Brown will move it out. Just Brown poke checks it deep in the. He's going to chase it down himself. Pick it up. Brown goes to Nathan. Nathan Whitcup steps by a check. Whitcup tries to drop it back in the corner. Brown after it there. Brown gets knocked down. Trying to get back up again, but it's controlled by Grease. Out to center ice. It's Root with it. He'll drop it back on the point, and they just dump it down in the Massena zone. And yeah, I was going to say, where's the icing on that? But they do call it after a while, and we're down to 4:09 left in the third period.
4:09 left, Jerry. And unofficially, the Raiders have not had a shot on goal in this period. They've had the power play, never got a shot on that, and Sal has them down, has 0 shots, and I think 6 for Grease.
So neither team has really generated a lot, although the Lightning have been all around the net.
Well, they've been throwing a lot of...
Plus they got one.
They got one, and they've been buzzing around, and the shots wide, a lot of attempts, and a lot of shots blocked in front. So they've definitely controlled the play in the third period.
Oh, no doubt about it. And that is, like we say, unusual. Puck sits in the circle. Brown gets a shot off, and it's steered in behind by the goaltender, Bach. Here comes Grease out of the zone. And into the zone, it's Simmons, the defenseman. He's going to rush it. Look to center it. In behind. Draws a crowd. Carroll takes him out of the play as they battle for it. Some help there from Whitcup, and they're going to blow the whistle and hold on for the face-off. We're down to 3:46 remaining in the third period. 3-2 Raiders lead on the Evergreen Memorial scoreboard. Broadcast brought to you by Tony's Pizza in downtown Massena. Also by Tri-Lakes Home Medical Equipment on East Orvis Street. Nationwide Insurance and your local Nationwide agents, Robert Adams and Robert White on East Orvis Street. Also North Country Savings Bank, Upstate Telecom with Cellular One service, car audio, and car starters in the Hart Haven Shopping Plaza.
Raiders with a one-man forecheck do not want to give up any odd-man rushes, but I'll tell you, those centers and the defense, number 15 in particular, can really rush the puck.
Off the draw, back to the point. Here's the big shot, fired it wide, hit the back of the mesh. And the back of the mesh again as Whitmore tried to center it. Robidoux can't clear the zone. Actually, it was Menkes trying to go to Robidoux. Now the puck bounces out to the blue line. Nice poke check by Menkes. He gets up, can't clear the zone, but the puck does finally get out of the zone. Menkes got nailed. He just wants to get on the bench, as I think his face mask came apart, didn't it?
Yes, he lost a piece of it.
Okay, back down the other way comes Grease as they move it into the zone. That's Whitmore. Derek dumping it deep in the Massena zone. Steve Smith picking up the puck. He'll drop it back the other way. Does not get out. Here's a shot from the point. Is blocked. And here comes Angstrom. And he got hauled down, and there's no call. Back to the point. Angstrom keeps it in the zone. Bouncing around. In behind it goes into the corner. We're down to 2:49. Raiders still the 1-goal lead. Picked up there by big Wayne Whitmore, one of the twins. He dumps it to the Massena line. Carroll picks it up there, bangs it back ahead to Angstrom. Angstrom to Robidoux. Robidoux looks, flips it ahead for Angstrom off his skate. Tad in the corner after it, along with the defenseman as they battle there. and the Lightning move it back out to center ice. Job throws a check, but following on the play is Derek Whitmore. Centers it right across the goal mouth, but nobody there to poke it home. Bouncing puck in the corner. Job can't come up with a quick shot. They score! No! How did they not score? Where's the puck? I can't believe that didn't go in. Great save by Spatafor. I thought for sure it was a goal.
So did I, Jerry. So did I. The puck in the left corner. The Raiders turned it over. And just over here on the right side, all by himself, number 28, Wayne Whitmore. And I don't know who picked it up. It was Allison or Wayne's brother. And he threw it right across the crease. And looked like Whitmore had the whole side of the net. Somehow Nathaniel Spatafor got across there and made an outstanding save. I mean, he's made some big ones. None any bigger than that. Just a great save by goaltender Nathaniel Spatafor. And number 28, Whitmore, went to the bench just shaking his head.
That was a beauty, no doubt about it. Wow. So Rice will face off now in the Massena zone. And who's coming out across the boards? Rochford will take the draw. Mankeys is out there along with Converse. And we're going to have a timeout.
Raiders just right
hanging on by their fingernails,
Coach. That rubber band is almost stretched to its breaking point. They're just holding on, and grease keeps coming on, but they can't solve number 29 in there, Nathaniel Spatafor, who has just been outstanding. And we're looking at, and again, unofficially, as I look down at Sal's shot chart here, Massena still has that goose egg under shots on goal in the third period. They haven't mustered one. And the Grease Lightning have had 7 or 8 in there, so, and about 5 of them have been, have been a real outstanding, great opportunities. Both, I think that was the Raiders that called the timeout.
Oh, yes, yes. Our broadcast brought to you in part by Seaway Orthopedics, located on Andrews Street, Outer Andrews Street in Massena. Also by Sullivan's Office Supply, Massena Savings and Loan, by Coca-Cola, and Powerade, by the members of Seacom Federal Credit Union, Massena Building Supply, by Reynolds Metals, St. Lawrence Reduction Plant, and by Massena Optics in downtown Massena.
Western New York dominating the top 10 standings. They've got 5 of the 10. St. Joe's from Buffalo, the number 1, and then Greece number 5, Fairport 6, Irondequoit 8, and Spencerport 9 in the state ranking. So a lot of power in the western part of the state as far as high school hockey, Jerry.
No question. All right, the face-off will be in the Massena zone. Rice out there to take the draw against Roche or Engstrom, one of the two, Rochford or Engstrom. Probably Engstrom. No, it's going to be Paul. Paul Rochford will take the face-off against Rice. Right side of Spatafor.
You notice?
Off the draw, he wins it. Rochford goes to Kevin Horan. Horan gets tied up by Rice. Squirts it ahead, though, to Rochford. Rochford moves it, and he's got a man breaking Engstrom. Engstrom's going to bust in on the breakaway. Tad Engstrom shot. He roofed it up over the net. And I don't know did he get a piece of it? Bach made a great save.
Oh, the Raiders had a great opportunity, just a great pass, Paul Rochford, as he sent Tad Engstrom all alone from the red line. He got in behind the Grease defense, great pass, he went down that left side, and I think Bach got a piece of that with the left hand, and Engstrom got him down, went to the backhand, went upstairs, but Tommy Bach, his best save of the night, after he saw Nathaniel Spatafor, he just pulled a great one off, because that would have put the nail in the coffin.
Yep, that would have done it, but we're still a 3-2 lead for Massena. Now we're down to 153.
And you notice he's broken up, Coach Dozier has broken up. He's taken the 2 Whitmores and put them with Andy Rice. Yeah. He's got his top 3 goal scorers out there, and I'm sure they're going to see most of the ice time.
They're arguing where the face-off should be, and I think you're right, Coach. I think he did make a save.
Yeah, he did. He got the
face-off deep, off the draw, picked up by the Grease Lightning, stolen away. Oh, boy. And Engstrom just got hauled down from behind, and they make no call. And here comes Whitmore. Whitmore circles at the blue line. Whitmore, drop pass, knocked away, bounces in the corner. They got a man in front. He can't get the shot off. Engstrom trying to move it by, and he moves it out to center ice. Raiders breaking the other way. That's Kevin Horan. Horan makes the move, fires it, and he just missed. Back to the point. Oh, boy. And the puck back in the zone, delay off sides, but no call as nobody touched it from Massena. And here come the Grease Lightning again into the zone, knocked away by Massena. And Robidoux lost his stick. He broke his stick, and he would have had a breakaway. Here comes Grease the other way as they move it out to center ice. Job takes a whack at it. Here comes Whitmore. He has it knocked away. Mankies takes a check. The bouncing puck into the Massena zone, knocked back out to center ice. We're down to 50 seconds left as they go back to their blue line. Looking to set it up. Here comes Shannon to the Massena line. And it's going to come to Carroll. Carroll looks, bangs it ahead out to center ice. 35 seconds left. And the net is empty. Here comes Grease. Job with it. Job doesn't clear the zone. Here's a shot, save made. Puck in behind by Carroll. They battle for it there. 25 seconds left. There's a battle in behind. The puck's still free in the corner. They go back to the point. Here's a shot. Save made, Spatafor. Puck clear to the blue line. Not out of the zone. Here's another shot through traffic. Deflected up over the net. 10 seconds left. Back to the blue line. It bounces free. Here's a shot. It's blocked out to center ice. Mankies. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Got
2 seconds left with icing.
What a great job by Steve Mankies out there as he gave up the body with the Raiders just running around and coming back to the point with a pass of the black shirts parked in front. That big defenseman back at the point cranked it up, but Steve Mankies slid out, gave up the body, and blocked the shot.
Grease is going to take their timeout now.
Well, he's got to set up, he wants to set up his final.
Okay, who's going to take the face-off for Massena?
Well, it depends on what side it's on.
Okay. All right, now they haven't shown us where it's going to be yet, have they?
No, they haven't.
How do they determine
well,
that?
It's from the position where it was fired from, but they can't tell here because he was in the middle of the ice.
Okay. So there are 2 seconds left.
See, they want to know. Massena wants to know where it's going to be right now.
It's going to be to the left.
It's going to be over to goaltender Nathaniel Spatafor's left. So let's see. Paul Rochefort usually is on the backhand. No, that wouldn't be his side there. Well, it's probably either that or Angstrom. We'll wait and see.
All right, 2 seconds left.
Or my other choice would be Robbie Whitcup. He's been tough on the face-offs all year long. But wait and see. If it were on this side, I think it would be Rochefort.
Okay, we'll see what happens. Face-off will be to the left of goaltender Nathaniel Spatafor.
All he's got to do, you don't have to win the draw here. All you have to do is neutralize.
Neutralize your man.
Clamp down on the opposing center stick. That's all you want to do.
Okay.
Everybody up on the picket fence, so to speak.
It's going to be Robidoux, I believe. No, Mankies.
No,
Robidoux. And he's going to face off against Wilson.
They're just going to direct it ahead. He's just got to trap the stick and pick everybody off going through.
Off the face-off.
There it is.
There it is. The buzzer sounds, and the Raiders go to the championship as they beat Greece 3-2. And I'll tell you what, if this game had gone another minute or so, it might have gone the other way.
I do agree. If it had gone another 30 seconds, it might have gone the other way because the Greece Lightning throwing everything but the kitchen sink and coming up 1 goal short. A valiant effort by both clubs.